moment. There is an auction next week for the 25-year bond, 15-year bond, but the mood right now is a little bit of uncertainty and confusion and doubt and fear of the market and people. And two things that is critically important. I'm going to first talk about Andrew. For 20 plus years, we have listened to Andrew. He's one of the source of information. And especially when he talks about something that you have no idea, you take it as close to not absolute truth. So such words coming from Andrew, the other day like it was heavy. And I remember when I watched, someone sent me the video originally on Saturday evening. I think Saturday or Sunday morning. And watching to it, I'm like, oh my goodness, he cannot be so wrong. Far away from the truth. And I reached out to him. I talked to him. Good thing he was welcoming of my approach. I wrote the articles, sent him to him. He acknowledged a few things, but all of a sudden, everything went all over, everywhere. So today we're going to talk about just exactly the points he raised. Are we going to Ghana? Are we about to be Kenya? Is it the Kenyan mafias that that own Uganda's treasury bonds, Kenyan mafias and what? All those positions, each and every one of them. So, but I think right now I have close to 70 people, so I can start. Let me start from this position. Andrew said there are 7 points which I'm going to talk about, and you will allow me to go one by one until we get to the end, because that's where majority of the things which people want to know are. Those who are liking the live Nyanza. The first point Andrew raised was, since 2020, Uganda has been borrowing short-term money at a high interest rates from loan sharks and commercial banks in Kampala and in Kenya. Now, I will tell you two things. You have, when you're assessing treasury bonds, you must assess them nga the economy. That's the truth. The treasury bonds are, I studied treasury bonds as an economist, but I never knew how to apply them. Treasury bonds are a monetary tool. A monetary tool, government jekosa to make sure the economy is going to direction Uganda. It can also be a fiscal tool. Fiscal tool, they supporting the budget. But let's focus so much on the treasure, on the monetary side of it. Uganda in 2020, almost every single country. I don't know if I have anyone here from the US. If you are there, you will maybe point to, you raise your hand up. Every single country from after the COVID hit, majority of the countries, they got stagnated. Like they got hit, the economic world got hit so much. For those people who are in the US would tell you, they had to even give them what they call COVID slips. Was it like 2,700 each person for all? Imagine paying people to just, because people weren't working, the economy came to a standstill. So majority of the countries ended up leaning so much towards borrowing. So much that almost everywhere, UK, they had to issue, the government, Bank of England had to issue significant amount of debt to finance economic recovery. At that time, Chancellor Wabwe, Rishi Sunak, nataka a full program to just make sure people go to the pubs, because in the UK they do understand that pubs are an important element of revamping the economy. And what did they do? They had to issue treasury, for them they call them gilts. They had to issue gilts. So it was not unique to Uganda that from 2020, they were borrowing. There was an increase in borrowing because in 2020, the taxes literally came to zero. The economy was not working. There was no jobs that were high. The only jobs that were working were farmers, but also farmers, you can't tax farmers. So it was extremely pressurized. Now, over UK, but Uganda, then we come 2021, there is a revamp. Then in 2022, the war in Russia and Turkey starts. That war, everyone knows what it did to inflation. Now, that's going to come back to a point which we're going to talk about later when we're talking about Ghana. Uganda is hit by significant inflation at the time. By official rates, inflation in Etuka at close to 10%. It had never been there for close to, in over a 10-year period, the inflation had to 10%. The worst inflation you told you about the corner yalimu 2011. After the election, there was so much inflation, like there was so much money that spread in the 2011 election. For those of you who ababijukira 2011, that by the time the election got done, the inflation that we had in Uganda was so high. But come 2022, we have so much cost push inflation because the global economy came to a standstill because of the Russia-Ukraine war. We are a net importer. We couldn't import so very well. We are a net importer in Uganda, I mean, China, but the economy got stabilized. Then in 2022, that's the first time Uganda issued a 20-year bond in 2022. And they issued it at 18.5%, which got so much oversubscribed. They brought a second one at 17.75%. It got so much oversubscribed. They issued another one. Like, they stopped it. They brought another one, which came in at 15%. Anyway, so between 2020 to 2025, almost all the global economies have been surviving on borrowing. Uganda, Kenya, UK, US, everywhere. Because the economies have been going, the global economy where we say capital flows, they have been going through so much that pressures from Uganda, from Kenya, from everywhere. Right now we are dealing with the Iraq war, which is extremely important because to a country like Uganda, which depends extremely so much on Saudi Arabia and Dubai, because those are our biggest major foreign exchange and our trading partners. Right now they are suffering. The United Arab Emirates is suffering. All of us are suffering, and that's important. So you have to look at that in that context. Then you come back. So on the point where he said we have been borrowing significantly locally using treasury bonds, Andrew is absolutely 100% right. There has been an increase in our debt from 2022, 2023 to where we are now. Naye nga temunaba kwerabira abantu abasinga wano mu 2022, 2023 parliament bwe yali eyise etteeka ly'ebisiyaga mwali wagira. Yes, one of our undoing was that act. You know? So there are times when we're going to have to talk about this in the realistic way. Like, let me do this live in a way that is open-minding to you. And if you are an investor here, you get the whole picture and you make a better informed decision. And just stick with me, just like the live and share the live, you will get the points I'm trying to address, right? In 2022, 2023, Parliament ingegezako ku debating etteeka ly'ebisiyaga, the Anti-Homosexuality Act, abasinga mwali wagira. Etteeka, it was one of our worst deal from an economic perspective, right? From an economic perspective, because we twaliyisa World Bank and suspending to lend us money. But twaliyisa European Union reducing our funding, right? So the bidding is again, but World Bank was the most important because World Bank comes with IMF, it comes with the International Development Fund. Those are the best concessional lenders globally. You want to have those in your pipeline. So when you refuse, when we ended up passing that act, boom, that was our only goal. The second goal came in, which Andrew talked about, was USAID. When USAID left, USAID was one of the biggest funders of the government programs, especially education and health. Actually, that's a fact. We know it. But America, mwebale kulonda. I know I have a few Americans on live. Mwebale kulonda. That brought in that direction of impact. So, so Andrew was true on two things. One, there has been significant borrowing by Uganda using the treasury bonds or domestic bonds. And the two, which is importantly also, that there has been a reduction in concessional loans in Uganda. But the story doesn't stop there. The story starts with what he said. Is Uganda going to Ghana in 2 years? Because I think that's what everyone wants to hear. Now, nga tetunaba kugamba nti no Uganda is going to the